Battle of Bactra between Macedon and Pontus, which is a matchup that I quite like because Pontus can bring such diverse armies that you have to come prepared to meet anything. So I did just that. I have 2 chariots spears on the flanks, 2 mercenary Thracian cavalry, 4 hoplites in the center, a shield bearer general in the center, a javelin man, 3 citizen cavalry, and 4 thorax swords flanking the hoplites. Since the map is Bactra, I'm not too worried about chariots because of the terrain. They should get slowed down significantly just by going up these hills and through the forest, but they can potentially do a lot of damage if they manage to attack downhill, and they can stay hidden for quite some time, so I'm going to have to stay aware of that. But I'm not too worried about chariots since I have a lot of units capable of defensive, going into defensive modes like shield walls and phalanxes and squares. So here I can see my opponent's army. I want to kind of give him something to think about early on in the battle, push him back a bit. So I'm going to send in this unit of citizen cavalry. I didn't manage to charge now because the units went in and out of view, but I'm going to charge here and try to make it through these units because most likely they won't be braced. So let's see, I'm going to lose a lot of citizen cavalry doing this, but it might be worth it because it allows my infantry time, and some of the citizen cavalry makes it through. Not a whole lot though, but it does create some chaos in his front lines. Actually kills some Pontic swords as well, and it allows me time to push up with my infantry. I didn't really do too much damage to his archers, but I actually made a unit of eastern archers start wavering, so that's nice. Did some damage to these Pontic swords, but it created some disorganized my opponent's lines, so now his eastern archers are further back and it will take them some time to move forward so they can support the main engagements. I am going to get the worst of these engagements because I am coming up off the hill and my opponent is on the hill already, so that's not it's not the best engagement for me, but I seem to have more infantry units, so it's fine. I also get the charge, which he doesn't. The same happens over here, I get the charge, he doesn't. I'm going to sneak my citizen cavalry around on both flanks to try to get at these lovely juicy archers. Charge in with all my infantry, try to get at this cavalry here and his general with my infantry, and now it's just a matter of trying to stabilize with infantry, taking care of the skirmishers, putting these chariots in an advantageous position. And over here it's pretty annoying, I stop in the unit because the guys on the wings barely touch the unit, but I'm just going to pull them away from that engagement. It's a very annoying mechanic that if you touch a unit, your entire unit stops. Like, the mass of these guys touching these guys is enough to make 60 horses running just stop dead in their tracks, but still, it's total war. These Pontic swords are getting absolutely swamped, and I want to kill his general as quickly as possible because there are a lot of units on the field that aren't disciplined, so they should rout faster when they don't have their general. This unit of citizen cavalry is going to take a pounding from missiles, but I should be able to sneak it into these archers, and moving the archers is of course going to make them stop fire as well, so it can be potentially very useful. These javelins are firing at the general is soon dead. I'm just saving these guys for later. Here comes some cavalry. I'm very glad I put my Thracians over here because that will allow me time to turn my Thurio spears around and attack these noble blood cavalry. Before that they were supporting these fights, but now they're able to stop this noble blood cavalry, and it's always nice to keep units in reserve, and this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how useful it can be to have units in reserve to respond to threats, and how not bringing a lot of skirmishers can enable you to keep melee units in reserve that potentially can stop flanking moves like this, because this could be very bad for me if these guys were able to just swing around at will and destroy, start rear charging. So I think that is more important than skirmishing, and especially on a map like this. I'm moving my mercenary Thracians up to start firing a bit. The infantry fight is going well, his general is dead, mercenary Celtic warriors are starting to rout, Pontic swords are routing, I haven't really lost much, but here come the chariots. I think at this point they are too far away from the battle and they're coming in too late. They are moving uphill and I won't get good downhill charges, and also I spot them, so there's still some units left on the field for Pontus, but I'm going to meet the chariots with my shield bearer general, and I have attack orders on this unit now, but I should change it any minute and go into phalanx. There we go. It's not really going to work that well. I managed to stop them for a bit, and this buys me valuable time. So I'm getting some attacks in on the chariots actually, because they are moving uphill. But now they're going to start moving again, and they're going to get a lot of good kills on my guys. Now I just need to finish off the rest of the units so I can protect myself against the chariots. They are rushing against these thorax swords, and I think he probably wants to move through this mass of men here. They're probably going to be able to do that fairly effectively. However, I am in a shield wall, and that's going to help me for a bit. I'm going to give attack orders on the chariots to try and destroy them. I have a phalanx over here, so that should stop them a bit as well. Giving attack orders with my Thoreo spears, but this is just how stupid chariots are in this patch. It's just completely idiotic that you can keep them back and then just rampage through everything in this kind of terrain. Chariots, I just need to pause it because I need to rage for a bit. Chariots were never able to operate in any kind of terrain. It's basically a cart drawn by 4 horses with zero with zero maneuverability in difficult terrain. Any rocks on the ground or hills would make the horses throw the rider over or break these wooden wheels, and there's a reason why Darius spent a lot of time preparing chariot lanes on Gaugamela so his chariots could work to their full effect. So this kind of thing, it really pisses me off to see chariots just driving around like all-terrain vehicles and turning around like that as well. I mean, how the hell do you make a 4 horses going at pretty decent speeds just turn around and do a 360 and run? So chariots are unbelievably broken. Just sending them in like this, and he's getting 200 kills. He met a unit that was in phalanx and had all these units firing at him. Still he managed to get, still he managed to get 220 kills. So even when abused like this, the most effective unit of his army were these scythe chariots. I fucking hate the things. But still they can be countered, just at great cost, and it's very hard not to make chariots cost effective. These guys, it can be argued if they were cost effective or not, because some of the kills were on these javelin men and so on, but still just very annoying. The skirmishers didn't do too well. I don't think this is the best map for bringing skirmishers, and skirmishers are quite easily countered, especially in this kind of hybrid sword heavy cavalry type armies. It's going to be very easy to sneak a cavalry unit in, or just win the infantry fight due to having more high quality infantry, and then go for the skirmishers. But it was a good game. Thanks for the game, Bear Hannibal 11, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.